Up my grill.
And we're rolling.
Oh, I didn't know you were... sorry. Hey, so... We'll just cut that. Welcome back to Up in My Grill, episode 2. We made it. They didn't say it would last. and welcome to our first subscriber. We got to subscribe. Yeah.
No, it's Jake.
Oh, Jake, who was in... Oh, Jake was in our first episode. Well, hey, a subscriber. It's all right. Everybody, you like it, you subscribe. There's things at the... somewhere you click. I don't know. Anyway, today we're making a version of bolognese, a quick version, because bolognese can be a long cooking sauce, can take hours and hours and hours, and you make it with different kinds of meat and cream and slow cooks. But my version is a quick version, and I'm cooking it with sausage for a little more pop, a little more flavor. So it's a quick sausage bolognese. So I don't have a sous chef, so I'm gonna have to do my prep myself. We're gonna start at the beginning with making a mirepoix. So let's get sous it.
We're not using that.
Okay, well, anyway. Okay, so a lot of good sauces start with a mirepoix. That's M-I-R-E-P-O-I-X, I believe. A mirepoix is basically, it's the 3 vegetables that you saute first to make the sauce, and it's always 2 parts onion to 1 part celery and 1 part carrot. And I chop them up, fairly small, but you want to see them in the sauce. They want them to have texture. Bob, Rosemary's.
Hey, Cap.
No. My kid, this is my kid's music teacher.
Hi.
Hi, Rosemary Rhodes.
Hey.
She's my kid's music teacher.
Sorry.
That's okay. I'm just working on another episode of the show today.
Yeah. Hey, Bob.
Don't.
No, I'm not.
He'll never. Thank you. Did he do well? Piano?
Yeah. Oh, he's doing great. Hot cross buns. He's killing it.
Oh, Carnegie Hall is next.
I know.
Should I get back to
Yeah.
Can I
Rebecca?
Sure.
Would you? Yeah. Can you give her?
Oh, hi, Rebecca. Hi.
Just
Do you want me to be able to take that?
yeah, and just maybe give.
Could I? Could I?
Yeah, it's fine.
Really?
Yeah, it's fine. Give her a chair. It's
I
totally fine.
love cooking. Do you want to see? I don't want to be here. Okay.
Everybody remembers my daughter Rebecca.
Older daughter? I'm his stepdaughter. He's not my dad. My mom's.
We made that clear. Come on over here and you'll see I got carrots and celery. I always do the onions last, and you can guess why. Because you chop up the onions and they make you cry, and you get them done. And I always prep my onion this way. There's a name for this technique. I always forget what it's called, but that's the way you cut them up and chop them up. So that way.
What's the name of the technique?
I can't remember. We're gonna
This
have
is
to
a cooking
Google
show.
that.
The whole point is.
The whole point is that I'm not a professional. I got mirepoix, didn't I? And I knew how to spell it.
You don't need to know the name of your.
Anyway, so there we have 2 parts onion, 1 part celery, 1 part carrot, and we're ready to start them sauteing.
What are you making?
I'm making a bolognese sauce with sausage.
Losing daylight.
Okay, sorry. Let's get this going. I'm rushing a little bit. Normally, there's a saying, hot pan, cold oil, food won't stick, but because we're rushing, so I'm gonna let the oil get hot along with the pot. Hot pan, cold oil, food won't stick. All right, there's the mirepoix in. Once it gets going a little bit, I'll start to crumble in the sausage. I use, if I'm cooking...
We're fine. We're good.
Good?
We're good.
Wow, I'm addled. Am I shiny, by the way?
Your dad's really good. He is really, really good.
Okay, let's keep it going.
Okay, so I'm using sausage, and I live in the western part of the United States, so I miss living in the eastern part of the United States where good Italian sausage was something I could find. And it's kind of harder to find here, but you do your best, get some tips, have some friends tell you where you can find some good, good quality ingredients to go with the dish you're cooking. Anyway, I always get like a mild or a sweet sausage because it's always easier to add a little bit more spice at the table if people want to add a little red pepper flakes, but you can't take spice away. I always start with a nice sweet or mild Italian sausage for this sauce. And because we're pushing, I'm gonna just drop it in there. And we're gonna let the sausage brown, and as it browns, we're gonna break it up with the spoon. And the sausage is gonna cook along with our mirepoix. Oh, I gotta put the wine in.
Okay, all right.
Okay, so yeah, we've got a nice, if you want to take in there, you can see the sausage is browned up. It's nice, everything's coming together. Now I'm just gonna give it a little splash of red wine. And a lot of times people cook with wine and they put wine in their sauce or something they're making and they say, I'm just gonna buy a cheap red wine or a cheap wine. is put a cheap wine in the food. It's the same as drinking the cheap wine. Spend a little money on the wine. Don't go broke. Anyway, so after the wine cooks down, gonna add the San Marzano tomatoes, and we're just gonna let this sauce simmer for a nice long time, let it come together, and then we're gonna have it over linguine today, because that's what I bought. All right, we good? The wine has reduced. Nice, cooked down a little bit, and now I've got the San Marzano tomatoes that I was prepping before. Get some good tomatoes, you know? I have to say, sometimes with cooking, sometimes, as long as your ingredients are good, you can take a dish that you think is boring, but if you use fresh herbs for it, it just makes the dish so much better than like using dried herbs, you know? So if you're gonna put tomatoes in and make sauce, get a can of San Marzano tomatoes, you know? Anyway, what I like to do, just the way my grandma did, I just rinse out what's left in the can with about another third or a half a can of water. I'm gonna just stir this together. And now, just to give it a little extra zhuzh, I'm gonna take a garlic clove. Can you get me over there? I'm gonna smash it with the back of the knife. Just to give it a little flavor, I don't have to chop it up. And I'm gonna take a couple of thyme sprigs. Not even gonna pull it off, just gonna float them in the sauce and let them all cook together. And I'm gonna put in just a dash of red pepper flakes. Not too many, and a little bit of oregano because I love oregano in my sauce. Again, all the ingredients in the recipe at the bottom will have the exact amounts of everything you need. Now we're just gonna put a cover on it, let it come to a boil, and let it then turn it down to a slow simmer for a little while. Everybody got my nice mustache pot lid holder? Big fan. Oh, the cool thing is you get to eat later.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Sure.
You let me eat?
Yeah, of course. We're not gonna like cook the food and not share it with you.
Cool.
You didn't let me eat last time.
Yeah.
We didn't have a lot. I wanted, we're a couple of minutes away here. The sauce has been cooking down, reducing really nicely. I'm gonna leave the lid off and turn it down so a lot of that water can cook away and the sauce can thicken a little bit, but we're gonna take a second here to talk about cooking pasta. Just a couple of simple tips. You don't have to ever waste oil in your pasta. It doesn't keep the pasta from sticking together. Just get no, really, you don't need the oil will just be there when you left it. It doesn't help. Get the water boiling as rapidly as you can, then you salt the water. Be generous with the salt. Then you want to put your pasta in. And here's where you got to just earn it for like the first 45 seconds or so. And now this is linguine, so it's a little different, but if you had pasta like, you know, fusilli or rigatoni or something, it's easy to stir. You keep stirring it. What you want to do, you want to get that water back to a boil, a really fierce rolling boil as soon as you can. So put the lid back on. And here's the important part. Don't turn your back on it. Like you don't turn your back on Mother Ocean. Don't turn your back on a lidded pasta pot because pasta pots can boil over. All right, lovely. Put it in the dish. And then a little sauce over the pasta that save some to serve on the individual plates, but I want to get some on the pasta to keep it moist right away. A little fresh grated cheese on it, not a bad idea. A little fresh grated cheese. You know, I have some, but I want to go through the orchestra. So should I wrap it up? Thank you for joining us on episode 2 of Up in My Grill for a little sausage bolognese. Thanks, Rosemary Rhodes. Thank you, Rebecca. We'll see you next time.